Okay. I'm going to call the regular council meeting to order for Tuesday, August 5th, 2025. It is 6:42. Ms. Monroe, if you'd like to call the roll.
Mayor Don Barnard.
Here.
Tiffany Hollis.
Yes.
Brian Green.
Here.
Dave Seeland.
Here.
Jeff Barr.
Present.
Wes Coble.
Here.
Al Orsini.
Okay. If we could stand for the invocation and then remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, be led by Mr. Jeff Barr.
Let's bow our head. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to gather and serve our community. Grant us wisdom, clarity, and a spirit of cooperation as we make decisions that affect our neighbors. Help us to lead with integrity, seek the common good, and act with fairness and compassion. Bless this town and all who call it home. Amen.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you and welcome to everybody. We've got approval of the agenda. Everyone has seen it. Does anyone want to make any changes? If not, what is the will of council?
Move to approve as written.
I'll second.
Are all in favor?
Aye.
And opposed?
Action on minutes, July 15th, 2025. We're all here for this one. Does anyone have any changes or additions to it? What is the will of council?
Make a motion to approve as written. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Okay, Ms. Hollis. Okay, we have a proclamation. We are doing a series of trying to remember our past and history. And this one's an interesting one. It's a three-term mayor. So, Mr. Standard, if you could come up here. Since you're so surprised tonight.
Surprise.
It was supposed to be a surprise. His family did a great job. So, proclamation for Sean Standard. Proclamation honoring the former mayor for distinguished service to the city of Johnstown, Ohio. Whereas beginning in 1813, when the city of Johnstown was established, whether elected as mayor or appointed as mayor, many citizens gave the best of themselves to bring to fruition their visions for Johnstown to grow and prosper as a community. And whereas former mayor Sean Standard served the city and village of Johnstown as mayor for 3 terms from 2012 to 2017. And whereas our former mayor Standard served the city village of Johnstown with distinguished and outstanding service to its citizens. And whereas former mayor Standard's service to the city village includes many worthwhile and lasting accomplishments, too numerous to name individually. And whereas former mayor Standard's outstanding service to the city village of Johnstown reflects well upon him and the Johnstown community has led for so many years. And whereas Mayor Standard is hereby appointed or honored for his dedication, time, and effort, along with leadership and dedication service to the citizens of the city of Johnstown. And now therefore be proclaimed that I, Mayor Donald Barnard, on behalf of the Johnstown City Council, call upon our citizens to celebrate the dedication and commitment of former Mayor Sean Standard and all that he gave to the community and for what we have today. Thank you for your incredible service. Flag that flew over the city today that we are giving to you as a privilege. So if your family wants to come up for pictures.
Let's do it.
And we tried to do it before she went to school because we knew she wouldn't be able to come back.
That's a great thought. And my other child is at a soccer game tonight, so. First soccer. So, if he'll watch it.
Thank you. And thank you, Sean.
Thank you. Did you want to comment or no?
You can if you want.
It will be really brief. It has always been humbling and an honor to serve in any capacity I can for the city. During my time on council for 8 years and as a mayor, again, it was a wonderful experience. And public service is no easy task, as you all are aware, but it can be rewarding at times, but often a struggle at others. So I appreciate all that you all have done and your commitment to the city, and we just continue to forge forward with new leadership, and we are on a good path.
So we will have another former mayor here next week, or 2 weeks, going through September, hopefully into October. We're still trying to track one down, so.
Who are you trying to track now?
What was his name?
Steve?
Yes.
Steve
Steve.
Rizzo.
Yes.
I'll get you.
You'll give me,
Yeah.
okay, thank you. Is he lives not in the city, does he?
West.
Okay.
Arizona, right?
But he usually comes back here in the fall. So my brother David is really good friends with him.
Okay, if we can get that
Yep. See if we
coordinated.
can do it.
Okay.
Yep.
Citizens' comments on matters not on the agenda. Ms. Monroe, did anybody turn in a sheet for you?
No.
Is anybody here who would like to speak? Okay, moving forward. Council committee reports. Planning and zoning met on July 22nd. Their next meeting is August 12th at 6:30 in council chambers. Anything to report from that, Mr. Green?
Hard to remember everything from that far back, but we did discuss an annexation. You guys will see later.
Okay. Design Review Board met on July 22nd. Their next one is also August 12th at 5:30. Ms. Monroe, anything from that one?
Don't remember, I'm looking. I usually look and jot it down, hang on. 7:22. I haven't done the minutes on that yet. The
Okay.
agenda had, it was 2 tabled signs. The house on 56 East Coshocton, the one that got painted white, that was the big story of the night.
Okay.
They ultimately approved it with some conditions to give it some character back. They need to take the white paint off of the stone, the natural stone that they painted over, and add some color to the trim, so
Okay.
that was
Thank
it.
Safety and Service met tonight. Do you guys want to go over anything you talked about tonight?
So safety and service, we had a great presentation on the 62 and 37 intersection, and we hope to bring more to the public soon.
Okay. Did Finance Facilities Committee get to meet at all tonight? or-
Facilities committee canceled by process.
Okay.
Tonight.
There was also the micro sealing. It's too late in the season to get that done now, but to my understanding, we do have fiscal year '25 money that can be rolled over through the process. And they would honor, meaning the contractor would honor 2025 pricing and do the work in 2026, right?
Correct.
So we'll still continue to do that. That's budgeted in fiscal year '25, so that's on Concord and
Buena Vista.
Buena Vista.
Okay. Perfect. Finance, our next meeting is the 19th at 5:30 in council chambers.
And we also touched a little bit, sorry, Mayor, we also touched some issues with street signs and requests on private roads. They wanted to be replaced, which was a bigger conversation about that we have a hodgepodge of different designs that I think administration may take a look and try to come to a uniform street sign that would need council approval, and then over time, we would have a uniform street sign design that any new development would put in, and we would slowly change ours over. Does that capture it? Yep.
Okay. I think Ms. Hollis at the next Finance Committee is going to present something on that. She's got some ideas, so.
Even better.
3 cents.
Surprise.
And Brandy. Service reports. Our service departments, water, sewer, and streets. Does anyone have any questions on those 3?
Is there anything from administration to point out,
They looked pretty basic on those.
like,
I had one thing I was gonna bring to light. Actually, for the month of July, the weather plant broke a record for pumpage. As we know, it was very hot. But we pumped 22.7 million gallons in the month of July. We averaged, I think, 17 to 18 hours a day operational running, so we're pretty close to full-time running. Now, a lot of that water was sales. Water moving, bulk water haulers coming in, but that was just informational for you, council members, that we broke a record on pumpage.
Last year, I noticed on the bulk sales, it was a lot lower than July. This year's much higher than last year.
Yeah.
Wasn't it down last year at this time?
Well, our bulk selling station was down.
Okay, I thought that was it.
Some equipment failure, but also the heat, and we have a lot of water moving out towards the Intel project. They're filling up at our place in Westerville for the work that they're doing out there. What exactly they're doing with the water, I'm not sure, but we've seen a large increase in bulk sales.
Okay.
is the 40 shut-offs kind of par?
Yes, yeah, pretty normal.
Thank you.
Is there anything from your service director report that you want to cover?
Yeah, real quickly, just update item number 1. Bowen, which is the general contractor for the plant upgrade. They'll be moving their trailers in, getting started after Labor Day. The city did get their approval from the EPA we do that every year. So we have like 6 sections that in case we have a major leak, a mainline leak, that we can actually shut off counting sections, and it's basically by development. So Concord Crossing had a major line development that we were losing more water than we could produce. We can shut that section down. So that is our critical valve. Turning has been completed this year. That's all I have, sir.
I wanted to ask you, in the form we put it on there, to have a dumpster delivered on September 5th to the wastewater treatment plant on the New Albany side of it for the River Roundup that weekend. We had talked about that.
Yes, I'll have to see if we want that down by the stream.
We can do it right on that driveway and bring everything up.
Okay, because I was gonna say they're very hesitant pulling off.
Yeah, as long as we can park it on that driveway, and there'll be stuff going out on social media to get people to sign up for the River Roundup. It'll be that
So we
weekend.
need it there September.
It'll probably be delivered 5th or 6th. The Soil and Water actually delivers it. They'll be taking
Okay,
care of
so
it.
you already have it set up and coming.
They're gonna have it delivered. I just need a spot to put it, so
Okay. we'll
as long as you're okay with putting it there.
Yes.
And that's funded by them.
Yes, it's all through them. Okay. City Manager, Sean, would you like to go over your report, anything of significance?
I'll defer to you all. If you have any items on there that you would like further explanation on, I can certainly jump in, but I don't want to be redundant in any type of report, so happy to answer questions.
Number 13, with the Parks and Rec, I know you've been talking with JYAA. Is that, is that going well, I think is my general question.
Yes, to give you the direct answer, it is going well. Everything seems to be agreeable at the moment.
Okay.
With all the information that you have.
Right.
The triangular piece, as well as the interest that we had in land ownership that they currently own. There's documents that are being drafted.
Okay.
By both parties to move the process forward.
Great.
We were on a pretty good path to where we would have been able to probably close on that earlier this year. But they sent us a proposal. We weighed that proposal with our engineers to confirm whether that was feasible or not.
Right.
And after confirming with them that it seemed to be somewhat feasible and accommodating to some of their requests, now we have gotten confirmation that we can move forward with that revision in place.
Okay. Do we have anything, it's not on your report, but along Parks and Rec, do we have any indication from the school board on the
On the,
discontinuation and then
yes,
the new?
I have a
rec-
meeting, I have a phone call with them on Thursday, with Tim and Dr. Wagner to go over, they had a meeting with their lawyer.
Okay,
So I'll have an update at the next meeting. We're hoping to have something,
substantial?
well, not substantial, but or that we can vote on that night to take it down and redo it, so.
Okay, well, that's substantial to me,
Yes,
so that's
yeah.
good news. Thank you.
So it should be, hopefully that's what they're telling me on Thursday.
Okay, great. Looking forward to that.
Okay. Any other questions for Mr. Stannard? Okay. We're going to move to public hearings of legislation. The first is ordinance 06-2025, an ordinance to amend the Johnstown Gateway PD district map by adding 6 parcels totaling 28.7 plus or minus acres, and to expand the boundaries for subareas 1, 3, and 4 of PD district. Mr. McNally, if you'd like to come up.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
If I may, before Jamie presents, I did have Trevor, our city planner, stick around. He did do a staff report.
Yep.
So if you have additional questions after Jamie's done,
Yep.
Trevor is available to answer any of those.
Okay. Mr. McNally?
Thanks for having me. Jamie McNally with the Albany Company, the applicant. It's under the Johnstown affiliate of the Johnstown Land Company. As you know, we talked about this last week when it got, a couple weeks ago at council when the annexation was approved, which is currently pending and will be legally effective, I believe, August 16th. Our goal is to fill in the missing teeth along Green Chapel, which we now have control of all those parcels. As you can see in the map, there is one glaring missing tooth that was the Strathen parcel, for lack of a better description, but that's going through the annexation process right now, which would be filled into sub-area 1C. So part of this a couple things that we did, just to recap what we've done. We've moved the LRE substation into sub-area 1C, and what you'll see eventually is a zoning, an annexation request from the Albany Company to add the LRE parcel. It's about 10 acres at the southwest corner of Duncan Plains and Mink Road, which would be neighboring sub-area 3. And then along with these missing teeth that we're filling in, we're also rounding out sub-area 1C. And sub-area 1C is about 110 acres. And we believe that's a great economic development site that we have in front of some potential users as well right now.
Does anyone have any questions for Jamie? Okay. Trevor, if you could come up and give us your highlight reel.
I won't read from the staff report directly, but I can't answer any questions. But basically, to highlight what Jamie was pointing out is basically what is happening is parts of sub-area 3 and sub-area 4, which were initially set aside for multifamily and commercial mixed-use areas, would be shrunk a little bit in order to accommodate a larger sub-area A1C. What was discussed at the Planning and Zoning Commission was that many of these users are kind of looking for as square as you can get, about a 100-acre parcel. By doing this, sub-area 1C kind of gets close to that 100 acres and is very square. I did have some initial concerns and met with NACO, and they explained the rationale behind these as to why we were shrinking the multifamily and commercial areas. Mainly it was to accommodate the additional employment or, employment-driven uses. But at the same time, my concerns were about, you have less area now to put multifamily uses, things like that. But really, at the end of the day, there are still controls baked into the plan development itself, that there is open space requirements. The units are capped at a certain number, and there's also design requirements that go along with that plan development as well. So things like density, things like how units are arranged and how they look will all still be coming before the Planning and Zoning Commission and this board before anything gets constructed. So with that, I feel that there's still more than adequate control on the city's part to be able to have oversight over any future development of those multifamily or commercial areas. And with that, I didn't see any major concerns or impacts to the city by allowing these sub-areas to be modified slightly. Hopefully that makes sense to you all. But those are kind of my concerns as this first came to the Planning and Zoning Commission. I didn't see any major flaws with what's being proposed. This isn't something where the city's forcing NACO or anyone to reduce that residential area or anything like that. This is on their request. So kind of, if they continue to do that, that is their prerogative. And I think that what's being proposed still allows you all to have a quality development at the end of the day as this moves forward. So with that, I'll try to answer any additional questions that you have.
Does anyone have any questions for Trevor?
They said the same thing that I asked last time about the reduction of all those things. That was my biggest concern.
Ryan, were there any concerns from zoning?
This is the third time I've heard this. So I definitely have no questions at this point. No, I mean, zoning felt confident because there are the checks and balances in the system that if there is anything that changes, we'll be able to see it in front of us again.
Okay. Hearing no questions from council, does the public have any questions? Okay, hearing none. What is the will of council for ordinance 06-2025?
Move to approve as written. Second.
Dave Seeland.
Yes.
Ryan Green.
Yes.
Tiffany Hollis.
Yes.
Mayor Barnard.
Yes.
Wes Coble.
Yes.
Jeff Barr.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Moving to Resolution 2025-30, a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a development agreement with the Johnstown Health Realty LLC. Mr. Stannard, if you'd like to explain this one and go into detail on it.
Sure. So with this development, it's a conditional use permit for this particular use in this particular area. So it allows some leverage and latitude for the city to require additional accommodations And we did that with this particular development. Staff came up with some suggested requirements to the board, to the zoning board, and the zoning board was in agreement with those. So they passed it contingent upon the approval. Big piece of that was a development agreement, and the big highlight reels start at 1.6, and I can go through them if you want. There's about 6 or 7 key items. First is the lieu of construction of public improvements off-site. So this was for the curb cut. So at some point, we recognize that 62 will need some type of curb cut, or I'm sorry, some type of curb installed along 62. Realizing that it's not 3-lane now and that could encroach into the certain areas, we requested 10 feet of right-of-way be granted at no cost to the city if that should ever occur, as well as $20,000 for that curb to be installed along 62. The other piece, 1.9, was $25,000 to go towards our sewer department. They are rerouting some of our sewer lines. Currently, it's a straight shot through that particular area. And with the rerouting of it, it's going to introduce, I believe, 3 additional structures, which are obviously more maintenance in the long run. So we put in a provision accommodating for that foreseeable 30, 40-year build-out. Eventually, we're going to have to do some repairs. And because this is done to facilitate their development, we felt we should be getting some type of compensation. So 10 feet right away, $20,000 for a curb cut, $25,000 for the maintenance long-term for the sewer. Also a traffic study to determine whether a right turn lane or a left turn lane was necessary was also required. Hearing back from our engineers, they have submitted that, and it does appear that no significant traffic will be included to warrant an additional left turn lane for that particular area. Let's see. A lot of the other items are just general agreements that they'll uphold their ends of the development. I believe that covers most of the important ones that are relevant for you all.
And this went through zoning, correct?
Correct. And these conditions were put on it, so they do need to get approval from council in order for them to proceed on this.
I have a quick question, Sean, on the 2 deposits. Those funds, they just come in, and obviously, long-term maintenance means over time, it just gets infused, if you will, and it's spent. It's not necessarily held in some separate escrow or anything, right? It just goes into that fund.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
It would just be a payment in lieu of, and then the city has discretion. If it wants to, it can put those into the budget stabilization fund to be utilized at a later date. It can use it for capital improvements now, to offset, something that they would have to pay for now, but realizing that at some point they would have to.
We're obligated.
Pay for something later, absolutely.
Same thing with the 20K, that's for a designated curb cut in the future. Same thing. It's not gonna be held out there when the curb cut's needed. It's just incorporated. Okay.
Correct. The only distinction I would say is they will go into 2 separate buckets, if you will. The 20,000 for the curb will go obviously into the general fund. I would recommend the 25 go into our water and sewer enterprise funds.
Right.
Keep those separated.
Do we, I know I'm getting into the weeds a little bit, but on these development agreements like this, do we, in our budget, do we, I don't want to say it, not necessarily in our budget, but do we have notes in our budget that's tracking these things that we are in the future obligated to do when it's time? So like, stick with the curb cut, because the long-term maintenance of the sewer, it just is.
Sure.
But the curb cut is something that has to be done in the future, whether it's 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, is the point. It'll be another council, could be a whole new administration, but do we track that so that staff and things know that that is there, if you will.
So I'll answer part of it. It depends on the size of the project. So for like the Leafy Dell expansion that's going to be going, or not expansion, but the roadway improvement that will happen down there. We do have funds in our books that we've designated the money for.
Understood.
So that we put money there to hold for that future project because of the size of it.
Right, it's escrowed because it's a large amount.
Yes, on
Done
something
that
like
for
this,
Pulte, Concord East.
Right.
Yeah.
I get that, that would
Yeah.
make sense, because that's a big ticket. 20 grand is not
Right.
a bunch, but it's,
but on this one, I don't think so, Dave, but I can let you answer it.
I wouldn't put it in the general, maybe the CIP fund.
Yep.
Just to confirm, lock it in there, but this one wouldn't be, we would put in the documentation of that agreement in the file of the budget, just so that we're aware of it on an annual basis.
and that's all I'm trying to do, is to make sure that the next group knows, hey, you're obligated to it, because we already took the money, right? So that's all.
And it's helpful when we do the budget process, this year, that we see, okay, we got $40,000 in this fund, that we know what it was for, so when we're planning the budget for next year, we might not, that's not $40,000 we're gonna get again next year.
Right, it's a one-time.
It's a one-time, so usually in the budget sheet that it is annotated where the money came from.
So if we put the 20 grand in the CIP, it's not part of the 28% of our infrastructure ordinance requirement,
Correct.
right? It doesn't count towards that.
No.
It's in addition to that 28%, right?
The 28% is only on the income tax.
revenue.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
just to touch on, I think obligated is the key word. So with the curb, we're as obligated as we want to be. In our agreement, we didn't state that at some point we will install it. It's the city's discretion if we so choose at a later date. But knowing that it's typically required upon a development that they would incur that cost.
Right.
This is a payment in lieu of, and like I said, the obligation is a very key piece of this. If it were obligated, I would have some level of concern to documenting these things more diligently. But because there's not an obligation
Right.
contractually, we have a little bit of leeway to move in and out of what we feel is important or necessary at that time versus
Okay.
what the city may emphasize differently later.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions for Sean?
So for this project, where are they currently as far as breaking ground? I know that they cleared the trees, they raised the houses that are there.
They have been coordinating with our engineering team, depositing a check, obviously, for those engineering inspection services. That was recently done last week. So I believe at this point, they can start the underground work that's necessary for that particular development. For the, call it the foundation and up, they still need to receive their zoning permit. And their zoning permit is obviously contingent upon this developer's agreement, as well as final approval from our engineer on the traffic study. They've given us tentative feedback, but they haven't given us a documented memo. And I say they, EMH&T, once we receive that, and if council approves this tonight, then we'll be authorized to sign off on the zoning certificate that they went through the process for. Again, I'll highlight, this is a conditional use permit. Most by right developments don't have this extra layer to where we're able to incorporate a developer's agreement. So if the next project comes through and you don't see these provisions in place, it's because it's not a conditional use, it's a by right. So it doesn't have as much latitude for us to ask for additional items. So like I said, the next time something comes along, you're like, well, why didn't we get our bite at the apple? It's because the zoning is already in place by right, and so that opportunity sometimes is lost.
And they've made everything all right with the trees and everything, with clearing all those.
Correct. So they went through the tree permit process. Trevor, our planner, has went through that process with them, and there'll be an abundance of trees planted in the landscaping, enough to at least adequately meet the measure of replacement for the trees that they did remove. Obviously, they'll take years to get large in size, but a number of them will be put in to accommodate for the caliper size that was removed, so.
Any other questions? Okay. Open it to the public. Does the public have any questions on this resolution? Hearing none, was the will of council for Resolution 2025-30?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, Ryan Green,
Yes.
Tiffany Hollis,
Yes.
Mayor Barnard,
Yes.
Wes Coble,
Yes.
Jeff Barr,
Yes.
Dave Seeland.
Yes. Awesome. Okay, we're moving to Resolution 2025-31, a resolution to approve reduction in bond for Concord Crossing East, Phase 4. Again, Mr. Stainert, this is you.
Sure. This one's a little more straightforward. When we do development, say when a developer does development, not Johnstown, but when that development occurs, the city requires a bond. I'll bore you with some background if you desire. If you want me to cut it shorter, I can. But the reason we do this is if a developer would start to have an area excavated, and then at some point, they're unable to facilitate their development as far as roadways or infrastructure, we like to have what we consider to be an insurance policy, a bond, that if they were to go belly up or walk away, that the city could indeed finish out the at least infrastructure pieces of that development. Once you grant right away for streets, becomes a little bit trickier. Then there is some obligation by the city to make that a passable roadway. So if the developer doesn't finish his, you want to make sure that you have enough insurance or bonding that the city can facilitate that. Last thing you want to do is pay for some of the mistakes that they've made. So the beginning of this particular phase, Phase 4, the improvements that were estimated came in right around 2 million, 1.9, and some change. With that, Phase 4 is generally complete. There are some small outstanding items, and connecting with our engineers, they did a quick run-through, and connecting with Jack as well, there are some outstanding items. Felt the reduction of the bond to $130,000 would be sufficient. There is a provision that requires them to have 110% of the original bond, which is the 130, in place for, I believe, 4 years after the completion of it, just in case there's any improvements that were done that needed to be corrected, so that we're not totally off, they're not totally off the hook, and we're not obligated to fix those without some type of insurance in place. Also had a discussion with the developer, Schlebach, and it is anticipated that they will be beginning their next phase. The final plat will probably be brought through zoning here shortly. Once that is started, we'll obviously do an assessment on how much infrastructure improvements will be needed there, and then we'll be requesting another bond be put in place for those infrastructure improvements. So just as a side note, that'll be coming down the pipeline here, probably within the next 2 to 3 months.
That's my question I was going to have, is do they have to do a bond on each of these phases? then?
Yes.
Anyone have questions for Sean on this?
One question I have, the pedestrian path that goes to the T.J. Evans Trail there. Has that been labeled as completely finished at this point?
I could check with the engineers. I haven't got eyes on it within the last 2-3 weeks, but I can certainly check with them. There also, as an extra layer, there's a developer's agreement related to Schlebach that has some payment provisions, much like we've done with the Johnstown Point in lieu of, and those are going to start hitting as the next phases come online. So we'll start seeing some chunk of payment for those particular phases and those particular agreements. I think the path in which you're referencing, Ryan, is highlighted in that developer's agreement, more so than it's probably in the Phase 4 piece of it. But if it is insufficient in any way, then they are not honoring that developer's agreement. We should be able to tackle that
Can
prior
we
to
use
their
some of that money that they're paying us in lieu of to put gates up on that road, or something different than what's there?
I was gonna ask that question, but the other question I had, and there's plenty of time, I mean, they're still doing work in there, is when you go up the one side, it's all gravel.
Yeah, I was curious what that
Yeah.
was for. I didn't know if anybody
So,
knew.
that was my question is, and I don't mind it, I mean, the intent of that path was to be pedestrian, but if you need to get an emergency vehicle through there, I understand that. So the gravel underneath is fine because you have plenty of room to work or drive. It bolsters that area for the weight and everything, but it's supposed to be a pedestrian-friendly area, you know, and have a certain look and aesthetic. I'd like to see grass come up to the edge of that path. If you look at it right now.
It's almost like they were gonna put a sidewalk next to it.
Yeah, it just
didn't.
kind of looks unfinished. Also, there was a water mitigation effort in there as well, into that swamp that I vaguely remember. I didn't know if we had finished with that either. The swamp is, I know we've had a lot of rain, but it's a little swampier than
Do you know about that,
usual.
Jack?
Oh, yeah.
I know we're holding more water back in Mastodon Park than we used to. The 6-inch tile that we run across the road has stopped it in the current range from running across the emergency road, but it has raised the water level back in the Mastodon Park. When I got some time where it's flooded back in there, I was gonna move some more stone in, try to raise the level of that. Cause right in the center of the walk back there is where the water's coming across. I thought maybe I could raise that with some stone to make it passable all the way through.
Yeah, I think we can take a look at it. To Ryan's point, we've gotten some rain. I will tell you very candidly that the solution that was derived from our engineers and their engineers is, I don't think anybody would agree, is the ultimate fix for that particular area. It was the most financially feasible solution that we had available, recognizing that all of that wasn't the developer's responsibility. All of that's obviously not the city's responsibility. So as we've discussed, and I think we brought this up probably about a year ago, EMH&T did a high-level look of what it's going to take to solve some of the stormwater management issues over in that area, and it's quite extensive. And they presented a proposal just to study it for the city of Johnstown to consider. That's certainly something we can bring back up if you would like. It's kind of on a shelf right now. It was given to you to consider, and we obviously didn't move forward with that in our budget for this particular year. So if funds start to materialize, that's certainly something you all can take off the shelf and start to look at it again. But unfortunately, at this moment, I'd say that's probably close to as good as it's going to get. We may be able to do some tweaks here and there, as Jack mentioned, for the walking paths, maybe bring in some additional stone. But keeping that drain line as clear as possible will be a constant struggle. It's not a very big line, and it runs dang near flat, which is not optimal either, so.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure, there's a lot of building to go in that area, there's a lot of construction to go in that area, so I just want to make sure it was on the radar, and we do what we can with it to make sure it gets completed.
I think right now we're at a point with it where they've really started developing some of the part behind your parents' house to see how that handles the water when it rains hard now.
Yeah,
And how the pond takes it and everything else drains. And from there, we can start trying to decide how fast we want to do more.
yeah, there's gonna be a lot of, like I said, with the construction in there, you're gonna have to see how that, I mean, you have the engineering to say how the water's gonna play out, but you don't know until it's
Right.
built. So I just wanna make sure it's on the radar. We have a park over there that people wanna use and the walking path they wanna use, so wanna make sure it's something we're looking at.
Do as much as we can.
Anything else?
We'll take a look at the walking path.
That's
on the
all I
gravel.
had on that one.
Okay. Okay, anybody else? Okay, citizens have any comments or questions? Okay, hearing none, what is the will of council? Resolution 2025-31.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Ryan Green,
Yes.
Tiffany Hollis,
Yes.
Mayor Barnard,
Yes.
Wes Cobble,
Yes.
Jeff Barr,
Yes.
Dave Seeling.
Yes. Okay, that is all our legislation. We're going to move to other business. I will start on Mr. Barr's side of the room. Does he have anything?
Wishing everyone in our school system a successful, happy, and uneventful 25-26 school year. Personally, I have my kids starting in middle school, so excited to see what that is for all the kids entering middle school and high school this year. So best to all the teachers and staff and administration.
Mr. Coble?
Nothing tonight.
Nothing. Ms. Hollis?
Just all the fair kids, 4-H kids this week. go participate and buy in them. They work hard.
Yes, they do. Mr. Green?
Yeah, I had the Hartford Fair on there as well. We have a lot of traffic, more than usual in the city, coming up this week, so be cognizant of that. We have schools kind of starting back, kids from sports, things of that nature, but the fair's the big one. I got my lemon shake up today, so I'm excited about that. So there's that, school starting, so watch that traffic. Presentation to the commissioners, I know we did that today, so I didn't know if we could get a report on that.
Sure.
Or if that'll be later on.
Yeah, that just happened today at 2:30. You all were sent the slide deck that was presented, very similar to the slide deck that you all received and had a presentation from EMH&T, I believe a couple months ago. So about a half an hour presentation, like I said, really similar to what you received, and then also half an hour for questions, so.
When you said received, it's in our inbox?
Yes.
Yes, yep. Our slide deck and then an executive memo that was attached and sent to the commissioners with that. So, yep, that was the presentation. Like I said, had the opportunity to talk to some of the key high-level points of the facility plan that we are submitted in draft form to the Ohio EPA. We've done that already, as you're aware, and we wanted to share that with the county commissioners. Obviously, sewer impacts a lot of development, and so with this proposal, we just want to keep them as informed and also have an opportunity for questions for them to ask, and then also give feedback from our perspective. So a lot of good dialogue.
Anything else, Mr. Green?
Yeah, I have a couple, sorry. It's been a while since we've had a meeting, so. For water and sewer, for water and sewer to your house, I know we had discussed this in the past, as far as hardships. Is there a process if someone comes in, death in the family, anything like that? Is there a process that we have to make payments, things like that?
Teresa?
Are you, just to clarify, are you saying that if someone
Can't pay their bill.
can't pay their bill, not for running it to them?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're.
Can't pay their bill or has, if they have an elderly individual in the family passes away, they're trying to get the bills in order, it's not their house. Do we have something that we can do for that?
So there's a couple ways we handle that. One, if someone were to have a very large, unusually high bill or something like that, or a financial issue where they're having trouble, they can contact the office, and then in our ordinances, there's a process for that. They can pay half of that bill with the current bill and half of it with the next month's bill.
Okay.
We also have several companies, nonprofits in town that have graciously taken on anybody's bill that has a problem. Like we've pointed them in their direction. So if they contact the office, there's options.
Okay, I just wanted to outline that. I'd had a couple calls. And then finally, our last meeting, I believe, and it ties in with the annexation today, our CODA board. Further discussion on that, an organizational meeting potentially.
I'm working on the CODA application.
So I know
You're
that
working
we
on
had
it.
said that it'd be on the agenda next time, so I just wanted to bring that up.
Okay. So you're working on the application right now, Teresa?
Yeah, just, I was taking some, just
Jamie?
working on
I was gonna say, I
actually
can
getting
jump
an
in.
application.
We're getting an application. Staff is reviewing it. As far as the board goes, I believe that's outlined
Yeah.
within the provisions of who is on that board. So I'm not sure if,
We had it outlined, we just hadn't done
Haven't
anything with
met.
it since we had created.
Right.
and I wouldn't imagine you would meet until you get an application, which we're soon to have one, I believe.
Okay.
But if you want to meet prior to that, you certainly can.
Yeah, the way the board is set up is it's not set up to be recurring like planning and zoning or any other boards like that. It's really just an on-demand when an application is received. And that's in response to the nature of those requests, meaning that they're only for, I forget the exact terminology, but like a major economic development project, basically. So it's a way to provide a little more of a fast track for projects that will gain employment for the city. And so that's why it's just as an on-call basis. It's not, there's no need to meet on a recurring.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing for reoccurring, but being that it's been over a year since we've created it. We might need to remind people what they're doing.
Yeah, I think at the first meeting, whether you meet beforehand or just at when the application is reviewed,
Before they have to see,
I think
see
that
something on their agenda, you may want to walk them through the process again.
yeah, having an understanding of roles in that would certainly be welcome. Yeah.
Maybe remind whoever's on it.
Yeah, you may need to.
I'll get
remind
with you,
them they're on
Teresa,
it.
and try to get something scheduled.
Can you, yeah, if you could send out an email with who's on that, just so they're aware, and then maybe coordinate just a potential get-together.
Okay.
That'd be great.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Okay. Yeah, Jamie?
The code board, it's been established. I believe you might still need to establish the bylaws as the next step.
Okay.
So, sounds like you got an agenda item
There you go.
for the first meeting.
Okay. Perfect.
And I don't think those bylaws need to be,
Most of our bylaws, we just adopt the council bylaws.
I think so. And there might be some specific examples of other code boards, so you can pick and choose how you want to curate it as needed.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Dave?
Nothing too much to add this week. Next weekend, not this weekend, but next weekend, Legion breakfast, but other than that, back to school.
Okay. Mr. Stannard?
Nope.
Okay, I have a couple farmers markets tomorrow night, 4:30 to 7:30. I think National Honor Society is going to be setting up and tearing down. So if you see those kids, it's really nice that they're getting out and doing it. And then on September 6th, I mentioned this earlier, is the River Roundup. I encourage all of council, there'll be a sign up for it. You'll get a free T-shirt. They'll have pickers for you to use. You don't have to get your hands. If you have waders or anything else and you want to get in the river, you're more than welcome. But we're going to be going from Wits all the way down to the sewer plant, walking in there, cleaning up debris. They're going to supply everything that we need to clean up. I believe this is the first time they've been over here, the Soil and Water Conservation. They're really excited about being over here and doing this.
I think it was probably 5 or 6 years ago,
I can't imagine. what they're
something
gonna
like that, the
find.
last time they were out here. They
Yeah.
found some interesting things,
I
I think I
bet.
remember.
Yeah.
Lots of tires.
Lots of tires, other things.
So if you guys want, we'll have the exact times coming out here soon, but if you want to, I think it'll be a great time to get out there and maybe play in the water. Depends on what side of the sewer output you want to be in. Jack tells me every day that that water's cleaner where it coming out than
That's right.
what's in it, so.
Things
Uh,
I never wanted to know.
Does staff have anything? Okay. We have an executive session. I make a motion that we move to executive session to consider the appointment of a public official to include all of council and the applicant.
Do we need to?
But
We only have one applicant.
I'd leave it up to you guys if you want.
We've discussed single applicants before, remember?
I think we should at least have a conversation.
Yeah, at least have a
about it.
conversation. And other business, possible other business to follow.
May I ask if most of staff?
All staff but
except
Teresa
for
and Sean can,
myself can leave?
yeah.
Very good.
I need a second?
I'll
I
second.
did.
Yeah, whatever, whoever.
Okay, Jeff.
Whoever did.
Okay, Mayor Barnard,
Yes.
Wes Coble,
Yes.
Jeff Barr,
Yes.
Dave Seeland.
Yes.
Ryan Green.
Yes.
Tiffany Hollis.
Yes.
So weird.
All right, it's back on.
It is.
Turn around,
Back on.
turn around,
I've
face the
never-
camera. No, I'm
I've
kidding.
never done I've never done an interview like that yet.
Okay.
Face the camera?
No,
It's
you're-
on. People are
you're
watching.
good. We're just messing with it.
Might be watching?
Yes. Resolution 2024-32, a resolution appointing a member to the Planning and Zoning Commission. City Council has made the recommendation to appoint Brian, how do you say your last name? Hebel. Hebel. So the E, not the I.
It's German.
Okay.
He's pronounced not the I.
So Brian Hebel to fulfill the term that ends December 31st, 2027. Do I have a second?
Second.
Sorry, who was second? Is that you?
Me.
All right, Mayor Barnard,
Yes.
Wes Coble,
Yes.
Jeff Barr,
Affirm.
Dave Seeling,
Yes.
Ryan Green,
Yes.
Tiffany Hollis.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, welcome, Brian. I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Us. Okay, that's for me. Kill the camera.